Alright, hello everyone, and welcome back to Daily Update on my 1000 Days Challenge. This is day 297. So let's get things started. Alright, so first and foremost, you'll notice the main trading accounts has no change. In terms of equity-wise, I've actually increased quite a bit in terms of close to 300. That's purely based on the experimental trade setup. One thing to mention is that there was very downward pressure yesterday on the crypto itself. So I did shorter in terms of experimental trade setup because that works on the shorter time frame. But when it comes to the longer time frame of 4 hour, I did mention that there was a potential setup, but it didn't hit my entry criteria and then it dropped thereafter. So I didn't enter based on following my criteria itself. All right, with that said, going back in terms of the daily finance, what you do notice in terms of the market structure on the weekly close is that we still remain tentatively bearish, of course, especially when right now we do look tentatively bearish. Let me just switch back in. Yeah, so you can switch back into overall, you can see in terms of here wise, we're still definitely forming lower lows and lower highs, especially after breaking over here itself. So previously we were here, we were lower high, but we didn't want the lower and immediately we break here, and then we continue all the way to that. All right, so with that said, bearing in mind that the key thing is that the overall market structure still remains intact if you look at the things in terms of broad-based wise, as we got this low over here and this higher low over here. So tentatively, the overall bullish market structure still remains intact. So even though people do say that the 20 exponential moving average is a key moving average in the bull market run, but that is based on historical kind of a backing itself. Do bear in mind that from what I understand from time to time, market does change and there's nothing being consistent, especially with the different players and the different market cap that Bitcoin is in currently right now compared to the previous market cycle. All right, with that said, looking in terms of the daily chart itself, we also do see that there is potential reduction or reduced selling pressure and momentum. So even though yesterday we did have a potential sell, we did have a sell off over here, again to this green box itself, which I say is definitely a clear zone of buying interest. So I didn't manage to buy anything today, yesterday itself, only on the first night I didn't manage to buy anything. So if it does actually come along here, even on the third try, I would definitely be considering to buy. But do bear in mind that if it comes on the fourth or the fifth time, then I will not be very keen to buy. In fact, I'll be more keen to sell. But do bear in mind, you can see that even though there was a spike in volume, the pressure didn't manage to pierce through it and form a lower low instead from a higher low, even with this kind of volatility in fact. So I do see potential for reversal, especially since we have actually dropped all the way down with no clear rebound just yet. So similarly here, we drop all the way down, we generally have some sort of a relief rally per se, simply because of short sellers closing the position and stuff like that, and also buyers tapping in as price become more attractive. All right, so looking on the 4-hour chart previously yesterday, I did draw two potential scenarios, as you can see over here. But I did say that this scenario, even though if you have entered on the trigger sell stop order, you would have taken profit over here. But I didn't enter based on this on the 4-hour and daily chart simply because it didn't actually get touch over here on the 20 exponential moving average. So for me, that criteria is very important because I want to ensure that I have a good risk to reward setup. So similarly, this is now no longer valid. So what I'm looking for over here is a one Bitcoin to form to actually potentially break down over this 20 exponential moving average to form a higher low in fact, and then break up above this. So if it does actually break out above here, then I believe there'll be a lot more buying pressure, especially this is the previous high. So by falling, by retracing a bit and then breaking over here, this will not only break this high itself, but also this high at the same time. So this will potentially form like somewhat like a head and shoulder, inverse head and shoulder pattern, which is a potential reversal kind of a situation. And we could see a potential reversal in trend in the short to mid-term itself. So meaning to say in the next few days to weeks, we could have a reversal back towards the upside. Although do bear in mind that we just kind of sell off, it does take certain time for momentum to be built up again. But of course, with Bitcoin, you can always have a very sudden reversal in trend just as well. So with that said, on the 4-hour and daily chart, I don't see any potential setup. So on the shorter time frame itself, I do still lean towards some bearish momentum and setup, although it really does looks a little bit of chaotic right now. So you could also be stepping out of the market itself. So I'll be trading with potentially less position than what I would typically trade as well. So with that said, I've come to the end of today and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.